Hey y'all, welcome back to Neon's Movie Reviews. I'm Neon, this is my review channel. Today I'm talking about Leaving Las Vegas, which I just saw for the first time. But before I dive into that, just want to say if you enjoyed my content, please give this video a like, really helps out the channel. And we're nearing the end of the Summer of Nic Cage. I've done almost 60 Nic Cage reviews, and but still got a couple more left. But yeah, if you want to see more content like this and be notified, go ahead and hit the little bell in the corner and go ahead and subscribe. But Leaving Las Vegas, this is a film that I've always heard about, always received a bunch of critical acclaim. I know Nic Cage won the Oscar for it, was nominated for a bunch of Oscars. Everybody praises this film, and never got around to seeing it for whatever reason. So finally watched it right after Guarding Tess, and could not be more different than Guarding Tess. But it's, I don't know how to I don't know how to review something like this, because while I really respected this film, I really respected the filmmaking, the acting, just the technical side of it. I respected the shit out of it. But I don't like this movie. I don't dislike any of the filmmaking. This is not the type of movie I'll ever rewatch. I will recommend this to cinema buffs only. This is not something I would recommend to most people. Yeah, I would compare this experience to something like Precious or like 12 Years a Slave, Schindler's List. It's a hard film to get through, and I'm glad I did. It was well worth the watch, but like, yeah, it's one of those. But basic plot: Nic Cage, he is a Hollywood writer. He's alcoholic, and after losing his job, he decides to move to Las Vegas and drink himself to death. While there, he meets Elizabeth Shue, who is a prostitute, and he basically pays her to keep him company while he kills himself. And she ends up starting to fall for him. That's the movie. I see it listed as a romance. This is not a fucking romance. This is just hardcore drama. This is a hardcore drama. He, yeah, I mean, there's not too much to talk about in the plot. The film is it's very straightforward with what it is. It does get somewhat out there with some of the dialogue and the metaphors and all of that kind of stuff. I don't mind it, but I do wish the film had stayed a little more grounded with all that, but don't mind that. But yeah, this is not an enjoyable film. This is not a film that anybody's gonna be like, oh, have you seen Leaving Las Vegas? Dude, you gotta see it. It's so good. It's so entertaining. No. Like, I would recommend this to a few friends of mine that I know are big into movies and care about the same types of things that I do. They would appreciate this if they haven't seen it. But this is definitely not something I'm gonna be recommending to, just random Joe just looking for a movie. I'll watch Leaving Las Vegas. Like, this is not a good time. You need to be in a certain mood for this type of thing. This is a very hard film to watch. Not that it's bad or anything like that. It's very good filmmaking. But it's just such a heavy subject matter, and there's really no moments of brightness in it. That, yeah, it's just bleak as fuck. But couple things I did want to talk about. The director, Mike Figgis, I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, he done a lot of work. This is the only film of his I've seen, really the only one I'm familiar with. But he apparently didn't have too much of a budget, and he also ran into some permit issues. So a lot of the scenes that were shot on the streets, they just winged it, just shot it in one take, and it was what it was. They just said, screw it, we'll film without the permits. We just got to get this done. And it created a sense of authenticity that wouldn't have been there otherwise, because cars are constantly moving around in the background. Like, these characters are within the world of Las Vegas. The world doesn't pause for them to say their lines like in most movies. No, the world is loud around them, and they're shouting their lines so that they can speak to one another. But it doesn't feel weird because the world is making enough noise to support that, and it makes sense. It's real. Also, the Nick Cage basically pulled an Apocalypse Now to kind of research this role. He did a fucking crazy binge with some buddies of his in Dublin, and I think it was like a 2-week binge he went on. And his buddies basically just filmed him and then he studied how he talked while he was in that state, and just kind of how he acted in that state so he could pull it off. But found that really interesting. This is autobiographical. That's how you say it. But yeah, autobiographical book that it's based on. I'm blanking on the writer's name right now, but this was his first book. Had a couple others that were written but hadn't been published yet, and this came out, the film started going into production. He signed over the film rights and everything, and 2 weeks after that, ate a bullet. So that was sad to find out. But after that, he had 2 more novels that were published posthumously, and yeah, definitely makes sense watching this movie that would have happened with the guy who wrote it, unfortunately, but it definitely does line up. But yeah, really, really interesting film. Like, it's really good, but God, I cannot recommend this to many people. It's just such a heavy film and it's really only for cinema lovers. But take that as you will. With all that being said, I will say, just for all the technical aspects, this still does get a 7 out of 10. I did not enjoy this experience, but I will still give it a 7 out of 10 for that. But yeah, I'm never going to watch this movie again. Yeah, this is just not a movie that I'm going to watch again. There are films like this that are equally heavy that I will watch again and again and again. Requiem for a Dream, for example, is one of my favorite films. It's equally heavy, but I don't know. There's some energy to it. There's something about something like that this doesn't have, where this just pulled. Yeah. But sorry for just kind of rambling on this one. This is a type of film that I've not reviewed yet on this channel, so I'm not really sure how to talk about it. Not necessarily the film itself, but my experience with this, where I appreciated the filmmaking, but I did not enjoy the film, but I think it was a very good film. It's an odd sensation to have, where you don't like something, but you understand that it's very good. Yeah, but having said that, I'm gonna wrap this up. thank you for watching this. Definitely appreciate it. As I said, it was a weirder one. I have a review coming out for Stolen tomorrow. That's gonna be fun to talk about. And yeah, catch you next time. Stay safe, all.